AEW does one big thing better than WWE that WWE is scared to admit. This is what it is. Welcome back, everybody, to Studio Script. I'm your host, as always, Maverick here. Thanks for joining me. Right before I get to my hot take, you're probably wondering, hey Maverick, where is your usual microphone? Well, my friends, I am testing the new Boya 2. It comes in this tiny little thing. It's literally the size of an AirPod case. There's another one in there. And then it's just like my current microphone. I plug and record, essentially, and it picks up the voice. And it's got a nice noise canceling feature. So if I'm clapping while I'm talking, you probably hear that in the back. If I turn this on, check this out. The light turns green. My voice should really pick up really crisp now, and you probably do not hear this clapping. If anything, just very muffled. It's brilliant. I'm actually going to keep the noise canceling on for the remainder of the video. As you may know, I've got kids, I've got pets, there's noises happening out there. Usually it hardly ever picks up, but now, peace of mind. I'm actually going to be using this for when I go to Dynamite live later in March at the legendary Roy Wilkins Auditorium in St. Paul, Minnesota. I will be at that show. If any of you are going to be at that show that are subscribed to me, just let me know in the comments. I would love to interview you. I'm basically going to bring this other one with to interview people for my channel and for a video, as well as give you some nice photos and recordings of the live show. Now, back to the hot take that I had. What is the thing that WWE is afraid of that AEW does tremendously better? I'm not even joking. Night and day better. AEW takes a fat shit on WWE when it comes to pay-per-views, big shows. And there's reasons for that kind of trickle down into all these little things that kind of add up, essentially, what I'm getting at, to pay-per-views. One, WWE has a lot more top stars, the ones that are featured weekly, the ones that are your current champs, and McIntyre, Punk, and others that are older. And what happens with older age? You're more susceptible to injuries. AJ Styles, for example, he knew that he could not go at a level that he wanted to go at still, which is why he chose to retire. And those are his words, not mine. That's not prediction, that's fact. And a lot of these wrestlers in WWE are way too old to be wrestling at that high of a level. And when they try, they have botches. CM Punk has had many botches. And it was very apparent when he was in AEW, he had many botches and injuries, which kind of ties into the big shows. WrestleMania is a huge ass question mark right now. WWE has plans for nothing right now. They don't have plans for Brock Lesnar. They don't have plans right up there for who's going to face Drew McIntyre. There's going to be heavy-ass rewrites due to all the recent injuries that have happened in WWE with Bronson Reed tearing his pec. He's going to be out 4 to 6 months. And so many others that are sidelined. Seth Rollins still probably won't be able to go for WrestleMania. He might make an appearance. And we'll see what happens with the Vision storyline. I call them the Vulnerable now because every main original member of the Vision is now hurt. And so that kind of ties into their bigger shows. But not only that, you get the weekly shows that make you want to actually watch these pay-per-views for AEW. I don't know about you guys, but I think every damn Dynamite and Collision has fucking hit really well in 2026. Every episode has been so damn good. And you don't get that weekly with WWE. Raw, SmackDown, I've been over it plenty of times. I sound like a broken record here. Too many ads, too many fillers, not enough wrestling. And their top wrestlers, take their two top champions in WWE, McIntyre and Punk. They're both in their mid-40s. CM Punk, I believe, is a few years away from 50. I think he's like 46, 47 years old now. That is old for pro wrestling. I'm sorry. Not everybody is the natural like Dustin Rhodes. Not everybody can wrestle into their 50s like some of the wrestlers that are in their 50s. Sting wrestled at a pretty good level well past his 50s. Dustin Rhodes, like I mentioned. and so many others. Billy Gunn looks great for being almost 60 years old. He might actually already be 60 years old. Some of them just don't wrestle well past 45. They don't age well. Look at Chris Jericho. He really fell off his final couple of years in AEW. Really don't know what's going to happen with him, but you get the point. Now, on the flip side, look at what they're packaging for their Revolution show coming up. That is going to be so much better than WrestleMania for these exact reasons that I'm talking to you about right now. Their main two champs, I would say they're main champs. You can argue, but just because they've been around the longest, obviously AEW, TNT. Those are like their two staple titles for men's titles anyway, for singles titles. You got MJF, 29 at AEW World Champ, and even the guy challenging for him is 34. He's a few years older than me only. And then TNT champ, I think, I've said before, the greatest pro wrestler in any company right now under the age of 30 in terms of wrestling, Kyle Fletcher. He's 26, I believe, 27, somewhere around there. You've got Kevin Knight, who's now getting singles matches. I'm a little concerned that Speedball might be sidelined with some minor injury because we haven't really seen him wrestle much in the last few weeks. But he's getting pushed. Kevin Knight is 28. There's a whole laundry list of other wrestlers that are going to be featured, mixed in, yes, with some older talent. You know, FTR is in their late 30s, I believe, or mid to late 30s. And there are other wrestlers, don't get me wrong, that are a bit older in AEW. But they utilize their young wrestlers better, and those young wrestlers are going to be featured in top elite, pun intended, matches at Revolution. You aren't seeing any of that shit in WWE. You've got a flustered card that is basically to be determined. WrestleMania 42, their logo should honestly just have a huge question mark after the number 42, because that is exactly what it is. Big, big question mark. So, you let me know down below if you agree with that huge reason why I personally feel like AEW does big shows much better than WWE, and they are definitely not wanting to admit that, but I'm here sitting in this chair to tell you, no script, no bullshit that I have to follow. That is what I believe to be true. You can let me know if you agree with me or not down below. Another huge story that I want to talk about in this video, the Warner Brothers WBD sale. Apparently Netflix dropped out last week. Actually, I think it was just yesterday. And unfortunately, I don't like this. Paramount is looking to be the one to acquire WBD. Now, I have gone over this and said that it's not likely going to affect AEW and their weekly shows because that is separate. The TV stuff, I believe, is staying separate. Paramount is just going to own pretty much everything on HBO Max, but you can still watch on regular TV, whatever service you may have that plays TBS and TNT, you will be okay. Whereas for people who watch on HBO Max right now, it remains to be seen if that's going to be allowed still, if Paramount will allow it, or is it going to get transitioned over to Paramount? I also have no clue what's going to happen currently with pay-per-views. I don't think it's going to be in effect for a while anyway, so it's not something immediate that AEW fans need to be addressing with their subscriptions and whatnot. But I do think that if Paramount doesn't want to have AEW pay-per-views on Paramount, it'll either A, stay in HBO Max and they'll just remain as is, although that's what it was for Netflix. I have no clue quite exactly what Paramount's going to do on their end with it. Or we just see it go back onto Amazon Prime. I know, me personally, I purchased 3, maybe 4 AEW pay-per-views in the past on Amazon Prime, and they were great. Great quality. I had no issues whatsoever. So if it ends up going that route, that's fine too. I already have Amazon Prime. It's actually one of my top streaming services. A lot of great shows on there, a lot of great movies. So I will be okay with it. But I do want to know your thoughts on this. I think it would have been a little bit better to go to Netflix, because then it would have enticed me to actually pay for Netflix to watch AEW stuff. But also, you know, I'd be able to watch Raw again live. But that's not going to be the case anymore. So again, Let me know your thoughts down below. Looks like Bobby Lashley is slated to return soon, which is really good because I personally have really missed the Hurt Syndicate. I will say one knockback that I can give AEW, because they're not perfect by any means. I was hoping that they would utilize Shelton Benjamin a little bit better since Bobby Lashley has been injured for the last few months, but we really have not seen any Shelton Benjamin. I think he had maybe 2 or 3 matches in the last 6 or so weeks that Bobby Lashley has been out. Actually, I want to say going on 2 to 3 months that he's been out, and really didn't see a whole lot of Shelton Benjamin. We haven't really even seen MVP much at all. But AEW's rosters is so damn deep, isn't it? That it's been fine. Not saying that I don't miss them, because I 100% do. But damn, AEW's roster is the best it's ever been. And right up here, MJF agrees. He thinks that this is the best roster AEW has ever had, the strongest roster, and I cannot agree with him enough. On the flip side, back to WWE now. The counter, why I feel that AEW is so much better with pay-per-views or big shows. Well, here's more proof, not just for my opinion, but it looks like WrestleMania, they're in panic in some departments to meet promotional deadlines regarding facing deadlines for Mania, promotional materials, WrestleVotes, and Fightful Select reports. And I already went over them just running around like headless chickens trying to figure out who's going to face Drew McIntyre, what are they going to do with that, what are they going to do with Brock Lesnar, what are they going to do with the Vision. It is a fucking mess in WWE right now. This is going to be probably worse than last year's WrestleMania. And I personally thought WrestleMania 41 was one of the bottom 10 WrestleManias ever. This one, at least on paper, which that paper is literally fucking empty because there's nothing planned right now, it's shaping up to be worse than 41. And again, going back to what I said at the beginning of the video, one of the main points, why AEW does pay-per-views better, big shows better, their weekly shows better, because they push younger, better talent. Well, we've already seen John Cena retire. We've already seen AJ Styles now gone too. That's 2 of their biggest wrestlers that they've had for years. A whole decade for AJ Styles, multiple decades for John Cena. Both gone. And now, to some, one of the best comeback stories ever in pro wrestling, Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, is saying that he announces that his next contract will officially be the last of his career. I can't quite remember off the top of my head how much time he has left on his current contract, probably 2-3 years. He'll probably sign one more 3-year deal. Cody Rhodes is going to be done in the next 5 to 6 years. He is yet another big wrestler that they feature weekly that doesn't have much time left in his own career, according to his own words. What are you going to do, WWE? Your only saving grace, the only thing that I can give you praise on in 2026 so far, is how well you have been pushing your NXT call-ups in Obafemi, Javon Evans, Trick Williams. Good job there. Can you keep that momentum, though? Or are we going to see what we've seen plenty of times in the past, where you see people get pushed initially in WWE, and then they fall off the rail like Penta? You see so many wrestlers that I've come across in AEW from NXT call-ups in the past, the golden era of NXT, the black and gold years. Adam Cole, Karrion Kross is now gone. So many others. And honestly, it's crazy to think a very big amount of the NXT wrestlers from the black and gold era, at least the men's wrestlers, they're in AEW now. So that shows that the formula that WWE had over the last decade has not worked very well. Creative has been ass. And now they're stuck in this weird gap of time where all your big-time wrestlers over the last 20 years, they're dwindling. You know, there's very few left now. And then you have this huge chunk of wrestlers. A bunch of them have just gone. And you're left with scraps, basically. And now they're trying to fill that void with these recent NXT call-ups. Is it going to be enough? That's what I'm getting at. I personally don't have much hope for them because of years past and how that has gone down. Obviously, only time will tell. Can WWE be as good as it has been in the past? I would argue it hasn't even been that good in recent years, but can it even be at the current level that it's at in 5 years' time from now, when Cody Rhodes is gone, when Randy Orton is gone, when CM Punk is gone, when Sheamus is gone, when Drew McIntyre is likely gone, when the Usos are in the mid-40s and probably almost done? So many more. If I sat here, I could probably come up with 10 more, but you get the point. You let me know down below if you agree with all of that. And lastly, the ticket sales for WrestleMania also shows proof in what I'm saying. Not just opinion, but actual proof. Right up here, we know it's at the same place that I was at last year. And right now, the setup is only 43,000. Last year, I believe the setup was basically the full 68,000, or damn near close, 65 per night. They are averaging 20,000 less per night for WrestleMania. They know. They don't want to admit it, but they know that their ticket sales have hit a bad dip in 2025 into 2026. And this shows it. And not only that, but they've only distributed 36,000 for, this looks like it's Saturday for WrestleMania. For a current setup of almost 44, just shy of 44,000, they're only at 36,200. So they have almost 7,000 tickets left to sell still, and we are not too far away from WrestleMania. Their biggest show of the year. Typically, tickets sell very fast, and it's sold out well before actual WrestleMania, minus some tickets here and there kind of sprinkled in that don't sell. This is not good. This further proves my point, I think, anyway, that WWE is bad at pay-per-views now, bad at PLEs. And they don't want to admit it, but I'm here to tell you that I'm sure that's exactly how they feel. That's all I had in this episode of Screw the Script. You let me know down below your thoughts on everything that I covered in this video. If you agree with me, if you disagree with me, I love responding to your guys' comments. Please keep it going. It really helps me in the algorithm for you guys to comment as much as possible. Even if you throw in separate comments multiple times on the comment feed, I will do my best to respond to all of them when I can. Respond to other people's comments. Get engaged. It really, really helps, like I said, in the algorithm for just have more comments, more likes on videos. It keeps the video going. I have said before, I would love to hit 10,000 subscribers in the future. No clue how long that's going to take, but hopefully not too long. As always, this has been Maverick with Screw the Script. Thanks for watching.